We went to Costa Rica a couple years ago, and it was probably one of the things that shaped us as a band. And this is the last song. It's called "No Matter How Far." And when we were in Costa Rica, these guys, there's always this moment in this service where they don't want to hear these words, and that is when I turn around to them and say, "Do you trust me?" Because that means that I'm about to have them do something that's more than what they're comfortable with. And so I remember there's one of those moments in Costa Rica where we literally had 1,000 students sitting in this hill in Costa Rica. It was beautiful. It was incredible. And we were doing the spiritual emphasis week for all these Costa Rican students in high school. And it was one of the craziest weekends ever. And the first day we played and we just sang. And here's all the Costa Rican students. The entire first day, they looked at us like this. And the second day, they began to kind of sing the words. And on the second day, that night, the bishop of Costa Rica, the Methodist Church, came and prayed with us. And we went to the school where we were doing the spiritual emphasis week. And we told him, man, we need a breakthrough because they're really not impressed with us. And we don't speak Spanish at all. And we're starting to question why in the world we showed up here. And I remember the bishop came and said, all right, then let's just pray over the ground. And so he invited the church. Like 10 churches came that night. And they began to pray all over the ground in the auditorium where we were having this service. And I remember the church began to pray for that gym. I mean, just pray. And it was like, oh my gosh. So much so that the band was like, man, we just kind of scattered around. And then the bishop in front of everyone called the band to come forward. And he says, we're going to pray and anoint you guys so that when you speak to the students tomorrow, it doesn't matter that you don't speak Spanish. It doesn't matter that they don't find you impressive. We're going to pray that the power of God shows up. And we're like, oh man, God, all right. And so the bishop prayed for us. That next day, we invited students to come forward if they wanted a relationship with the Lord. Over 400 kids came down. And here we are at the bottom of the thing, and we're going. And so what happened is each band member began to pray for a group of 20 or 30 Costa Ricans. I mean, just like shouting out, repeat this after me. We weren't ready for it. We should have been, I guess. And my favorite image to this day is RT was surrounded by about 50 Costa Rican students. And he was just circling. And he was just saying, repeat this after me. Man, God just showed up. And he continued to prove to us he doesn't need us. But he loves for us to be a part of the journey. He loves for you to be a part of the journey. And one of the things Jesus told his disciples is go into all the world and share an incredible news of the gospel. And this song is called No Matter How Far, because as we got back from Costa Rica, the one thing that we had in our mind was this. That God, no matter how far we have to go as a ministry team, whether they speak our language or not, no matter how far we have to go, we're going to tell the whole world that you are God alone.
Okay, the first scripture is from Matthew 28:19 through 20. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Matthew 24:42 through 44. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what time of night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. Matthew 9:37 through 38. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. Matthew 10:7. As you go, preach this message. The kingdom of heaven is near. And Jeremiah 10:6 through 7. No one is like you, O Lord. You are great, and your name is mighty in power. Who should not revere you, O King of the nations? This is your due. Among all the wise men of the nations and in all their kingdoms, there is no one like you.
Kingdom is coming, awaken your heart. For soon will be morning, the heavens will part. God will deliver the promise He's made. Salvation in Jesus, by grace we are saved. We must go and tell the world of a God whose love unfurled reaches through the darkest place. No matter how we have to go, till the world He's got to know, we will go. We will go. No matter the cost, we'll take the word to all the corners of the earth. We will go. We will go. The fields ain't ready, but you are the end. Send out the workers to harvest this land. The kingdom of heaven is near. Give us great boldness until you appear. We must go and tell the world of a God whose love unfurled reaches to the darkest place, the darkest place. No matter how far we have to go, tell the world He's got to know. We will go. We will go. No matter the cost, we'll take the word to all the corners of the earth. We will go. We will go to the ends of the earth. We will tell of your word, oh God, oh God. For the nations will sing of our glorious King, oh God, oh God. To the ends of the earth we will tell of your word, oh God, oh God. For the nations will sing of our glorious King, oh God, oh God. No matter how far we have to go, tell the world He's got to know. We will go.